Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. These are Norbar torque wrenches are pretty good value for money. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Have you got one? What do you use? What torque wrench do you use? And what do you like and not like about it? You know, we like the Warren and Brown, made in Australia. Been using those for decades and decades. It's probably my most used torque wrench, but I have used some other ones. We've got some other cheaper ones for like wheel nuts and whatever. Good enough, cheap enough will do the job. But these, I think they're really good value for money actually, considering they are cheap. So this is a couple $100 worth. So for people that are thinking about doing some of their own maintenance, and I suppose the torque wrench is quite often most important for all the smaller things around the 20, 30, 40 Newton meter type thing. They're the things that I suppose matter, because once something needs to be tight, depending what it is, you know, if you're doing suspension components and they're talking about 80 or 100 or 120 Newton meters, most components it doesn't matter. F tight, tight's tight, and you got a, you know, a nylock or a split pin or whatever. Generally, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean and you're not mechanically apt, then you probably should use a torque wrench for everything and have a whole range. But then if you can't figure it out and you need a whole range, maybe you shouldn't be touching vehicles. This is just a really good value for money. You can see all the part numbers, all the information's there. You can get these wherever you like, but this one came from Total Tools, couple $100, right? So they're usually a little bit dearer than that, but it all depends, you know, whether they like you or not, what sort of price you're gonna get. And I just think if you're gonna go and buy a torque wrench to do your own injectors, or you're doing some other, well, I'll just use that as an example, some other sort of works like that where you need, the range on this, as it says 12 to 60 Newton meters. That covers most things. So on your injector replacement job, the lowest one is, well, I want to say 13. The lowest one that's imperative that matters is 13. And the highest one, the fuel pipes, is 35 if you're reusing the pipes the second time for some reason. Let's say you've got your injector kit from me, you put your injectors in and it's 7 or 8 years down the track and you can't get new injectors, or you reckon they're pretty good, or the vehicle's not worth much anymore and you just want to run it into the ground. But you may as well spend a couple $100 on a seal kit, get the injectors out carefully and reseat them, because what's going to happen, those injector seats, I'm not going to explain in this video, they're going to leak eventually. So that's going to block the oil pickup and it's going to kill the engine, right? So we can do this for you as well. It's going to save you a lot. So you don't have to replace injectors. If you've got a 2015, 14, 13, 12 and you've got full DLCs and you're quite happy with how it's going, the vehicle's pretty rough around the edges and whatever, you want to keep it going, but you know, you're confident in the injectors, or you want to discuss that at the time you've got it booked in with us at the Prada Hospital for replacement, we can go, well, you know, if it's all clean and it hasn't been messed with, there's a chance that we can do that. It's going to save you a lot of money. You know, you might be looking at, we'll just put it out there, about $1,000 or so to remove, clean, everything, whatever. It depends whether you're doing an E-jar clean or if that's been done previously, that sort of thing. But point is, 13, 16, 22, 25, 35, 32s, all these sorts of things. Awesome. Look, I know a lot of people that rate the Norbars, okay? So the reason I did this video, I wanted to put it out there because trying to help you save money. I think it's good value for money. I do prefer the Warren and Brown Australian made, support Australian jobs for all sorts of manufacturing, like kaon.com.au, like Dovinson's is an Australian company, they're still manufacturing here, like Century Batteries, making some batteries here. Not all the batteries are, so it's your choice which ones you go for and that sort of thing. But you need to consider supporting your own country you live in for manufacturing. I think it's very important. But this is a good value for money, so I thought I'd put it out there. So if you're thinking of buying something like, you know, the King Chrome at Bunnings for $100, that's good, but I think this is going to be much better spending the extra $100, right? Made in the UK, in case you didn't know, right? So spend the extra $100, made in the UK. I'm not telling you to buy this one. I say buy the Warren and Brown. But the Warren and Brown, for this sort of range, it's going to be about the same money, to be quite honest. We use the 321-500, which has a range of up to about 100 Newton meters. So you've got your 60s and 80s and stuff in there. So if you're doing brakes and stuff like that, there's a few of those. So that could come in more handy. And you normally get the 321-500 for about $250 if you're getting the right price. You might get one for 200. You might have to pay 300 again. Depends where you go. How, you know, whatever, it depends on all those things, you know, you can figure it out. Anyway, just a quick one, guys. Hope you liked it. Please hit the like button. What else can I say about it? Our 4x4 Diesel workshop partners use these. We've got other workshop partners that use the Snap-on one. It's all electronic and digital, and it's just the precision's ridiculous. You can do that if you like, but I'd suggest that's more for if you're using it every day, if you're using it a lot, commercial type use, because it's quite a large investment. I think they're about $1,000, more or less, whatever. Again, depends if they like you or not, if you said please and thank you and all that sort of thing. I just wanted to say, I think this is good value for money. Mate, is there anything else I can say about this Norbar? Anything else I can add in there? This is a new one, and we've got old ones, and we've got a few different Warren and Browns. You should get them calibrated. You know, if you're regularly using them, you don't want to drop them. Treat it like gold. Make sure you don't drop it, damage it, this sort of thing. That's why carefully, when it comes out, I treat it like a glass bottle or a wine glass, if you know what I mean. All my torque wrenches, very carefully. That's why when it comes out of the case, very carefully you use it. It goes back on the bench, not near the edge like this where it's going to go off, back there somewhere. Usually that's about as close as it's going to get to the edge of the bench for this video here, where it's safe. And they go straight. It's one of the tools. I'm not into keeping cases and stuff like that, to be honest, packaging, and I can't be bothered with the take it in, taken out. The tools are there to use. I need them to be quick and easy to access. I haven't got time. But the torque wrench is always the item that goes back in the case, like some other specialised tools like that. So take care of it. What we do a bit of a self-calibration. So if we buy a new one every year, we can compare all the other torque wrenches to the new one, and if they're all still the same, then we're pretty confident that it hasn't gone out of calibration, and we haven't seen them go out of calibration. Possibly if you drop it or something like that, or you do the wrong thing, I suggest you don't use like the flex bar type, like the Warren and Brown, for undoing type things, because you're going to maybe bend and twist things the wrong way. I only use it for, torquing it up, finalising that position. And to be quite honest, torque settings, let's go a little bit further, 11 newton meters, 9 newton meters. So the only other thing that you may, with this, because it says from 12, the valve cover's 9 newton meters. I can tell you the valve cover, it doesn't really matter if it's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11 or 12, right? So you can just go a little bit under 12, so it's 10. The crush tubes in the valve cover, you'll feel it. Once they're there, that's it. They're not going anywhere. There's no point over tightening. There's no point leaving it loose. Once it gets to about 10, you're going to feel it. You're going to know it's right. And the same thing goes for all these torque values. Some of them, like the fuel system, those union bolts, the hollow bolts where the fuel goes through, that's where it's most imperative, because you don't want to get a fuel leak, internal fuel leak, filling up the engine with oil. Then you've got to go back in there, do this massive job all over again. So don't just grab your torque wrench and hit the job. Make sure you start off with the right parts, genuine, correct, fresh parts. That's why people buy the injector kits from us. And then you get in the VIP group. You can watch all the videos, and I suggest you watch many videos. There's about 8 full injector replacement videos from different perspectives, different ways, different information. You need to watch and listen to all of those so you avoid the mistakes, the pitfalls that are available if you don't gather the information and do your training properly first. So it's not just go get the torque wrench and go for it. It is for some people. If you're mechanical out, go for it. I'm just advising people in general. Anyway, guys, that's it. I made it a bit longer than it was going to be with extra information as usual. Hope you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe, turn the bell on. More awesome videos coming your way soon. See ya.